r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. College students, who was that roommate from hell, and for what reason? Had a roommate who got diagnosed with colon cancer partway through the year. It was a roller coaster of emotions as his treatment progressed throughout the school year. I supported him as much as I could and couldn't believe he chose to stay enrolled and on campus through it all. At the end of the school year he broke the news to me. His cancer was terminal and he didn't have much time left. We said goodbye as we left for the summer, me thinking it was the last time I'd probably ever see him. The next year he was around campus again. Turns out he made it all up. Never had cancer. Roommate as a freshman was very clearly super duper sheltered his whole life and had no clue how to function independently. I and the guys on my floor noticed after about a week that he started to smell. A couple of us approached him as gently as possible to ask if he had deodorant. He quickly said yes. Then whipped out the still unopened free sample of soap that was in the welcome packs the RA had prepared. So that showed that not only did he not know what deodorant was, he also didn't know what soap was. We kind of took him under our collective wings and started to teach him general life skills like that. He was making lots of progress. Then one night I woke up and he was sitting next to my bed staring at me. I asked what he was doing and he said every night he just liked to sit and watch me sleep. That was the end of that. I requested a new roommate pretty damn fast. She wasn't the worst, but she had some pretty gross habits. There was one time she was waxing her crotch with those wax strips, and after she ripped one off, it fell face down on the floor in the room. The rest of the semester had dried wax glue and pube hair on the floor. She refused to clean it. She drank watermelon sourpuss liquor 24/7, dripping it everywhere, making all surfaces sticky and sickly sweet smelling. She would be up until 1 or 2 AM, blaring Eminem on her stereo. Never would turn the lights off on her side, so I had to get used to sleeping in a bright room and would make about 6 kd macaroni cups a day in my microwave, any time of day or night. She would fuck a different guy every week, no notice, I was always home. She'd just say, "Oh haha, sorry, I thought you were fast asleep." One night I was woken up around 3 AM by someone shaking my leg. The boy of the night was standing over me with a sheet barely covering his naked junk, and he's trapped in a pair of handcuffs. "Hey, do you know where she keeps the keys? I need to go." I did not. He stumbled back to her side, woke her up, they fucked again, and he finally left, sans handcuffs. Thank every god ever that she dropped out after Christmas. Edit. Some additional details I'm remembering, since this seems to be blowing up. She blared Eminem because she saw herself as a white gangster chick from a rough city in another province, really not that bad of a place in reality, and would talk about her best friend who died in her arms after being stabbed. I could never find any trace of this dude existing, no a bit, no socials, no news headline about a stabbing, nada. I highly doubt he existed. She wore an ice wig due to alopecia, but was extremely sensitive about it. I literally don't think I would have even noticed, but she would constantly get in my face, "Did you tell X that I wear a wig?" Or tell me, "Distract this dude for a second, so I can add extra glue." You know, so she could fuck him and not worry about it coming off. A random drug dealer that hung around our campus didn't go there, jumped off a second-story balcony of our dorm and bounced off a car because she rejected him. He was fine, but it was quite a sight. Once I woke up to her microwaving a KD cup at like 2 AM and heard the dude of the night say, "Put that down and come back to bed." She responded with, "I'm eating this. You can fuck me if you want, but I'm just gonna lay there like a dead fish and eat." And she did just that. Not roommate, but more of a floor mate. Had this one girl that was really friendly with everyone on the floor, boys and girls. She was always in someone's room hanging out and would eventually go to someone else's room to hang out. Did this routinely every day after classes. Well, turned out she was a resident closet junkie and would go to everyone's room being really friendly to steal all their stuff. Watches, jewelry, wallets, laptop, anything worth money. Everyone found out after a midterm party when she was out in the parking completely blasted on whatever she was taking. She got arrested and expelled, and when it came time to clear out her room, that's when everyone's stolen stuff starting popping up. Not a roommate, but a floormate's. This person was absolutely brilliant, like doing grad research at one of the largest research universities in the world during their freshman year. Brilliant. The thing is, they had no concept of hygiene. Would not shower for months on end. It was nauseating. My now husband had a roommate he would always complain about, and to my chagrin, I thought, surely it can't be that bad. We were long distance, so I never met the guy. Over winter break, so while my husband was gone, the guy kidnapped his girlfriend and locked her in their closet for several days. Had a dorm mate who didn't shower, not great, but we didn't share rooms. One day she sat down next to me, didn't ask, and without a word, unfurled a plastic bag of loose pills. Took a handful, and then acted like I insulted her. The first week of the semester, she told us it's her birthday, so we went and got a cake for her and put up streamers. She walked in, took them all down, and yelled at us for thinking she wanted to celebrate it. Knocked on my door in the middle of the night and told me her mother killed herself when she was a child, but wanted me to know. She threatened my roommate with her knife collection because she was watching TV in her room and any noise made her want to kill my roommate and herself. The knives were the final straw. She got moved to another room where she threw a frying pan at her new roommate. I Google her name just to see if she's in jail. Not yet. She stole my towel and got shit or blood on it. IDK and I don't wanna know. Then denied it when the towel was literally in front of us. She ate our food. She lied about the most random and stupid things. Was literally caught in the act of eating one of our snacks and said, "I'm just eating an apple." It was a pretzel. Oh, and she lied about having ovarian cancer for years and took people's donations for treatment. Many nights, she would wake me up by watching kiddie shows like Lazy Town at full volume and weeping loudly in her bed as she crunched on chips because she was homesick. She lived 30 minutes away and could have commuted instead of doming. Towards the end of the year, her boyfriend was pledging a frat, and on the last night they made him run some sort of obstacle course and covered him in things like flour and hot sauce. She told me he would be coming to sleep over because he was finally finished pledging and I agreed. He showed up as I was falling asleep, sweaty as F, and covered in smelly food. He said he was going to take a shower and disappeared, so I fell asleep. I woke up about an hour later from the sounds and the god-awful stench of them fucking, and he had not showered. They fell asleep, and he never showered that night. I didn't speak to her for the rest of the year, only a couple of weeks luckily, or ever again after that. My roommate didn't shower or do laundry for the entire semester I lived with him. He and everything he owned, and subsequently everything I owned, smelled like raw beef. I once woke up at 2 AM and saw a ghostly figure sitting in my computer chair and heard the sounds of rushing water. Initially thought I was hallucinating, but turns out my roommate was stone drunk, mistook my chair for a toilet, and pissed all over my floor and belongings. I confronted him about it, and he denied everything, maybe didn't even remember. At uni, I lived with two girls from out of town. They were heavily into their class A, but weren't interested in cleaning, tidying, or being decent roommates to anyone else in our house. One of them had a seriously powerful Yamaha amplifier mated to a pair of 350 watt tallboy active cabinet speakers. Precise setup. Cue the obnoxiously overloud music blasting through the house most nights of the week, while they would get crazy high and essentially rave out with shitty trance music all night. One day when I had the morning off uni, she went out and had left her door open. I seized the chance, went in, took the metal case off her amp, and removed the glass fuse. Reassembled, put everything back as it was, and left. Peace and quiet for the rest of the term. She couldn't figure out what had happened to it, but I played dumb and said she must have blown the amp. Unsurprisingly, both her and the idiot roommate she came with both failed the first term and left. Had a roommate that was an absolute slob. Clogged the toilet one day, and we, other roommates and I, hounded him to take care of it. He let it sit for a couple months and refused to fix it. Finally we called our landlord, and he pulled out coffee filters. Dude was wiping his ass with coffee filters and flushing them, or at least trying to. Was the worst smelling bathroom ever. My roomie left period pant his crotch up on the floor. Every month. And would just have clothes everywhere. Well, when we moved into the apartment style dorm in the fall, he'd been there all summer doing summer classes. His food in the fridge and pantry were literally rotting. He wasn't there to help, so my friend and I spent a while just getting the cleaning done ourselves. Now when I say rotting, I mean with actual maggots and whatnot. Just nasty stuff. It wasn't our job, but we were gonna have to live there, so we scrubbed it all with bleach and made damn sure the place was fucking clean. Later that day he came back and cussed us out for us having thrown away all his food. That was just the first day. It didn't get any better the whole semester, after which he moved off campus. It wasn't the roommate who left dishes to rot in the sink. It wasn't the roommate who pirated movies and got me fined cause my name was on the account. It was the guy who smelled so bad that simply walking past his room, you could see cartoon smell lines wafting out. That smell was baked into the soul of the room. You'd need a goddamn priest to fix that godforsaken space. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more. Have a nice evening. Tell your friends about me.